Plato does us a solid. Okay, so we all know there are 5 Platonic solids. The tetrahedron, the hexahedron, known as the cubed you squares out there, the octahedron, the dodecahedron, and the icosahedron. They have 4 faces, 6 faces, 8 faces, 12 faces, and 20 faces, respectively. We also know that 3 of them have the same flat polygons for all their faces. And we all know, of course, that that shape is the equilateral triangle. I need not explain what an equilateral triangle is because we all know that. The other 2 Platonic solids, the hexahedron and the dodecahedron, have a square for each of its faces and a pentagon for each of its faces, again respectively. Now, as we all know, Plato didn't come up with these solids on his own. Some other Greeks talked about them before Plato fixated on them, most notably Pythagoras and Plato's pal Theaetetus. Plato wrote most of his ideas about his solids in his dialogue Timaeus, which we have all read and therefore know well. I'm sure you all thought, as I did, that he just went on and on and on about his precious solids until poor Timmy Timaeus damn near fell asleep. I know I nearly did. I perked up a lot, though, when Socrates and the gang at Plato's Academy started equating each of the solids with one of the elements. The real elements: earth, water, fire, and air. Not those fancy schmancy ones we have these days. Earth was associated with the cube, air with the octahedron, water with the icosahedron, and fire with the tetrahedron. Now, if you've been counting, that's only 4 elements and 4 solids. Where did the dodecahedron scoot off to? What was its element? Plato only said, the god used it for arranging the constellations in the whole heaven. That would require a whole other quasi-theory to explain. A bunch of them, really. We all know, though, that the dodecahedron is the ether. That's what most of the other ancient Greek philosophers thought. The ether is the first element from which the other 4 evolve. Why would Plato say the god used ether to pace the stars in the sky? Well, we all know that the Sanskrit word for ether is akasha, and that akasha, in the form of chitakasha, the ether of the mind, is the mind of God wherein all of everything exists. God thinks, and the thought appears in the ether, later to be manifested successively in and through the lower elements. But we all knew that. You may read the text of this on my blog at bydean.com. That's BHAIDIN.com.